Hi everyone, welcome back, and we're mixing it up today. We're not talking MTWs, back on the GBB track. And we're taking another look at one of these Toxicant MWS Rattler GBBs. Whether you've got the Rattler, whether you've got the Spear. What I'm interested in having a look at today is the bolt mechanism. It's really easy, it just pulls out like so. We can close this. I tend to close MWS's, don't I? And trigger that buffer spring going into the upper receiver, where on the Toxicant MCX series you don't have that problem. So charging handle, you'll see there's some sort of gold coloured brassish deposits off the wheels on the bolt. Wheels on the bolt go round and round. And we're going to be taking a look at this today. So this is the bolt out of the Toxicant. I presume they're very much the same depending on whichever model you have. But we want to have a look inside this thing. I'm not insanely sure how it comes apart, but we're going to find out together. I think we can undo these two bolts here, and then the top section comes off, and then we can take a look at the internals, especially of the bolt and everything like that. Not sure what nozzle they fit, whether they produce that themselves. A lot of people have been concerned about these brass wheels. We'll see in the long run how well they fare, but let's give it a go. Let's take the top off. Looks like a 2, but it might not be. 2mm Allen key. So we have one at the front, and we have one at the back. Are those the same length? No, so the shorter one goes to the rear of the bolt, and we can lift the return spring assembly up, and then this looks very similar to, you know, like a normal MWS. We have the top section here which will come off, and you've got a little spring that goes underneath. There it is. We pull the nozzle forward, we can remove this top part, and then just like on your MWS, we remove this little plastic piece at the back. That will release the nozzle, and we can pull the nozzle out there. So not much, you know, reciprocating weight here. I don't know how you could make that heavier. This isn't, you know, an issue of weight of material, because I presume these are stainless. Very well machined, I'll give them that. But it's to do with how much mass you have, like how big the item is. So we'll set that to one side, and we're going to have a look at the nozzle here. So it looks really quite well made. So far, I mean, I haven't tested all the company's nozzles, but the one company, if you're using it for an MWS, I'll tell you to stay away from, it's the angry gun ones. Don't let anyone out there tell you any different. Honestly, every gun, and that, you know, I'm building a bunch of guns for Empire, and the Mark 18 that's coming to me, the MWS, funny enough, has issues. It's got an angry gun nozzle in it. Go figure. So we're gonna have to get that switched out. If you can't get a TM1, go with the Guns Modify one. Those seem to be pretty damn good. So we've got a little Phillips screw on the top here. Just going to swap this over, much like on a normal MWS. We spin that screw out, and then it should enable us to pull this assembly out. It might need a little bit of persuasion. There we go. And it's also pulled out the valve and the spring for the nozzle valve as well. The front section, not going to pull that off. It's just one little spring you see in there and a little plastic section on the front. But what many of you have been asking, I do have some here and a little Prometheus tub for some reason, is about the valves, the downgrade valve set that you do, well that I do, and we've got different sets here. So that's a standard one, we've got an extra low and a very low, and that, I can't remember what this came out of. Was it a Guns Modify one? Not 100% sure. I can't actually remember what gun I did this on. I might have to look back through my videos. So we've got a very low one here which we can put in. We've got a standard one. This will probably be close to the standard size. And with my valve sets, I said in the video that I've done on it before, they do come dusty. It's just part of the manufacturing process. I am looking at sort of doing a bit more post-processing on them, and we'll see how that fares. Literally, you can get anything round. This is literally just an Allen key, and I'm just putting it in, and you just see the little bits of white dust. It's just due to the SLS manufacturing process, but as you handle them, because they're white, it just makes them dirty. So perhaps I'll look at somehow in the future having like a really clean, some kind of cleaning station which I can keep it from being contaminated and getting them dirty. But for the most part at the moment, again, it's one of them things as well. If I'm going to sit there cleaning each valve, it's going to add to the cost. Do you want to just receive this in the post and just do a little bit of cleaning of the dust out like I've just done, and have it cheaper? Or do you want the valves to be slightly more expensive, because there's going to be a labour cost involved in me doing that on thousands of these valves? And I just want to take that chance to thank all of you. I mean, the Titan nubs now for the MWS have sold thousands of them. Really good results that you're sort of sending me back saying it performs really well, especially when you pair it with the Flamingo. And all the other MWS products on the website. Thanks very much for the support, and I will continue to make new parts. And on that subject, I don't know if you follow the Facebook page. I don't really post much on Facebook because they've got this thing against anything airsoft related at the moment. Now, I've been okay with the Jaeger Precision page, touch wood, but a lot of people haven't. So YouTube normally is the best place for me, but I do post stuff on Facebook. So I am working on an MWS hop unit, and you'll see a lot of these hop units are rushed to market. I've been trying to do it, and I've been speaking to a few people in the industry for a while. My CAD skills I'm self-taught, so there's certain things that I don't know, but I've got to the stage now where I've got it to a point of, you know, testing, or final testing. And then once the concept's proven and I know it works, then I'll look to simplify the model, and then look at, again, speaking with other well educated people that do similar parts, get the concept done, get it working, and then you can look at it from a manufacturer's point of view of how we're going to make this and make it as easy and as fast as possible. So valves here, one of my valves, we'll see how this goes in. Someone did put on one of the comments today or yesterday about that it was a little bit tight, which can be the case sometimes with these valves. You do have to make sure you get them perfectly straight. So we're gonna try and poke this out here. We're gonna try and get this perfectly straight. Again, I'm not sure if the Toxicant valves are the same spec. Looking at this, I'd say not, because it is quite tight in there, and it does seem to be getting a little bit stuck. Again, I've tested this in all kinds of MWS nozzles and they seem to be fine, but the Toxicant one, we don't know if it's something they've made themselves or they've bought it as an off-the-shelf part. We just don't know. So you might just have to take a little bit of material off to get it to fit properly. But the other plus side of these valves is, you know, let's say you've got the very low one or the low one and you need a little bit more, you can just step it up in the drill bits if you want and just open it up slightly, or you could use something as simple as a round file. Did have one on the bench here somewhere, so you could literally just slightly remove a little bit more material and get the exact FPS that you want. This valve, so that was the Toxicant one. This valve is, I don't think it's Marui, or it might be Marui, I'm not too sure. I can't remember what gun I removed it out of, so could have been the Mark 18. But this valve as well also gets stuck. So it's not a my valve issue, it's a bolt issue or a nozzle issue. Tolerance difference, shall we say, on the Toxicant nozzles. And this looks very similar to like a Guns Modify one or something like that. So we could swap them out. What's this one over here? I think that's one of my original Marui ones that got think was this the one that got damaged by James maybe? So yeah, very close. So we'll have to look at that in future. Now, I don't really have an FPS issue in my Rattler, so there's no reason for me to change it. And I'm going wildly off topic here, so I do apologise, going off on a tangent. So it just looks like the valve sizing on the Toxicant is slightly different. I would need to grab the old verniers and just have a check and see what's different, but we're not going to do that today, because otherwise it'll be a super long video. So we're going to place this in. Make sure it's placed in correctly. The nozzle spring does seem really nice. Nice and strong. So we want it lined up to there, I believe. Screw. Pop that in. Again, don't over tighten these. You really don't need to. So yeah, that's as simple as that. Like I say, all the parts seem very similar. I'm not saying they are, because we found obviously the valve is a slightly different size, but you know, it's only ever so slightly. And I didn't design the valve around the Toxicant series, I designed it around the MWS series, because that would be a much wiser choice, which is why I did it. And we're going to basically pull that part out with anything that is suitable. There's no specific tool required, just something that will go in the hole while we place this plastic piece in. I'm trying to look at the camera as I'm doing this, but so we just pulled that out, push the plastic piece in, simple as that. We pull the nozzle out, we put the top piece on and situate that in, and then I'm going to place the spring in afterwards, because then I can focus on what's going on. I need a little flathead screwdriver just to place that on the little pin that's on this part to situate the spring. Once that's on, we can put the top piece back on, and this is what holds it all together. Short screw in the rear, longer screw in the front, 2mm Allen key. Pop that in. There we go. Just carefully taut them, you don't need to go overboard, but I mean, this material is very hard, so shouldn't really be that much of an issue. Just pop them valves in there. And there we have it, simple as that. So there is less reciprocating mass, like I've said many times, on the Toxicant MCX series. It's just how it is. So all the guys out there that love heavy recoil, it's probably not the best platform for you to choose. Place this in, and we're back in installing the gun. It's an absolute part, it's so smooth. And you can see there I'm running the Flamingo with a Titan nub. That is my go-to setup. Many people ask me all the time, what's my go-to setup on an MWS platform? And that's it. Titan nub, Flamingo hot rubber. And yeah, you'll see I've got it set up very simply with a huge CGS suppressor on there, with a proper RS suppressor cover. We've got a Scout Light Surefire. I can't remember which model this is. It's the one with the little swingy M-lock mount, which is a Wadson one. This is the CQBL from Wadson as well. And to be honest, are we going to be able to show you here? I bought this just because it was a bit different to the Engal and the other bits and pieces that I've got. but you know, it's nice and compact. I like the light because once you've fitted the mount, you can kind of swing it up really close to the rifle. I need to sort out the wiring situation and get that secured a little bit better. And yeah, it's nice and short and out the way. This is just a Vortex Crossfire, little dinky red dot. Got the laser on one button, I've got my torch on the other. And yeah, very pleased with this platform. So that's just going to wrap up the video for today. We were just looking at the bolt and then I had a rant, so apologies about that. Thanks very much for tuning in. Loads of stuff on the way, more than I can even fathom to think of at the moment. But if you want more videos on the Rattler, on the Spear LT, on any other platform that I've showed on the channel that I still have, then just, you know, pop down in the comments. Don't just say more videos of this type, just say more Rattler videos, because, you know, I'm going to be doing more Rattler videos, but what do you want to see with the Rattler? So not only put down in the comments below what platform you want to see back on the channel, but what specifically you want me to do on that platform, because then it helps, and then I can put a video up, and if it helps one of you, then I'm happy, I've done a good job. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, from me and Bench, we'll be seeing you in the next one.